Hey everyone, Richard Cannell here from the Small Island Gardener. And today is a nice, warm autumn day. I know there's a cloud overhead right now, but it really is a nice day. And I'm out in the yard here, taking a look at the plant behind me and also in my hand. It's called Skirret. And this is a fantastic plant, and I'm really excited to share some information with you guys. So stick around for the next little while, and hopefully you could learn a thing or two about this amazing plant and want to grow it yourself. These are funky looking plants, and they're decent size too. This one you can see I broke off when I was digging it up with the shovel, but it's kind of large. It's about the size of a carrot, and also it's in the carrot family, the Apiaceae family. What I really like about them is, this is the size of a carrot. This is the size of a carrot. This, they're not huge carrots, obviously, but like carrots, for sure. And they all come from one plant. So I like to space them that's probably 18 inches apart, but realistically, like you can see, I've harvested a few already. I could have got away with 12 inches apart. So if you consider, and I also could have fit a fourth row in here. I really could have. So if you consider all that, these give you much better bang for your buck than carrots do for the space. And if you enjoy the flavor, then it's definitely worth growing. You can see here there's multiple crowns. And if you were to separate this plant and put each crown in the soil by itself with just a few tubers or roots, depending on what time of year you harvest them and want to divide them, you can get quite a few plants. There's even a little bit of green there. You see that right at the tip? All right, so anyways, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Gosh, you can get at least 10 plants out of here. Something else to know about these plants is that all of these are second year plants. So when I moved to the new farm earlier this year, I had divided all of the plants into separate crowns. And then this happened in one season. They just required regular watering. The soil is, first year soil, so it's not even great. And it still produced all of this. They're quite decent sized. And here's the thing about them. If you let the tubers grow for too long, they're tubers, I guess. Tubers are rhizomes. Rhizomes are more spreading, so I would call these tubers. If you let them grow for more than one growing season, they can get notoriously woody. So what I'm going to do is show you what I would do with this plant, for example. All right, so take all of the biggest ones. This is a two-hand job. All right, I'm going to do some movie magic. And how's that for movie magic? Here we are. That's the same plant that you saw a second ago, but I took most of the large tubers off of it. Now here's a great example of how they get pithy. When I was separating them, let's see if I can zoom in. Good enough. All right, you can see that it's kind of hollow there. That's because right here on the main plant, you can see there's a woody core right there. So that's not a problem, but it's also kind of a problem with this crop. So it's not as simple as cutting them off into tubers like this and then, cutting them, roasting them like carrots. Sometimes if the tubers are too old, you're going to want to remove that core. So it just takes a little bit of extra time. Or what you can do is something that I do. I will steam them or roast them, and then just the way that I bite them, I kind of use my teeth and I pull the outer meat off of that hard core. So it's not terrible. It's definitely not a carefree vegetable to eat all the time if prepared this way. Now again, this is just because these tubers are not young. These are the second year tubers. I will do some cooking later, and I will show you which ones are hard and which ones aren't. We'll do a little experiment together. See, there's a little core there, but as you can see, it kind of broke off really easily, and it's not that thick. So that's what I mean about this not being a real big problem. And, oh yeah. No, this isn't a problem. It tastes really good. Wow, yeah. That tastes, quite honestly, just like a carrot. Really. Very, very similar. So, yeah, I highly recommend it. That's great. It's nice and crunchy, like a carrot. It's sweet like a carrot, but also like a parsnip. And if you've ever tried eating raw parsnip before, or even cooked parsnip, you know how it kind of feels like a little bit airy. Like it's got a really nice, smooth kind of feel to it in your mouth. And this is very similar. So yeah, if I have to describe its flavor, I would say that it is a combination between a carrot and a parsnip. It is so good. Yeah. I could eat these all winter long and not get bored of them. They're so good. Anyways, this is just the tiniest plant. So, as you can see, there's no roots, just tubers. That's because it's November, and I harvested them, and the roots have mostly died back, and there's just tubers. But if I were to take this in the springtime and divide it, which is the time you should divide it, there will be more roots around these crowns, and then you could break them off. Like these tubers here aren't actually going to grow new plants. The crowns will. These are just the energy stored for the winter that'll give these the energy to grow. So yeah, if you're planning on dividing them, make sure that you get these off in good condition, especially at the base. If you were to cut and there's still a little bit of tuber left over, that's okay, because then it'll give a little bit of root between the tuber and the crown. So yeah, they're really easy to propagate. You can get so many more, and quite honestly, I just cannot be motivated to grow carrots anymore, because these taste very similar to carrots, but look at the yield for one plant. This is incredible. They're so delicious. They taste very similar to carrots, and their nutritional profile is also quite alike. And they're really cool looking. They're like dreadlocks. Something else that I haven't mentioned about these plants that you see here yet is that, believe it or not, these ones here are not even the best plants. These were kind of the runts, and that's why I pulled them up, because I'm trying to build my numbers. Also, first and foremost, I operate a seed business, so it's in my best interest and everyone else's that I don't harvest and eat the best plants. So I always take the runts whenever I can. So take that into consideration, that this second year plant here, compared to a lot of the other ones, like, oh, this one here, this is amazing. Like, I'm not going to dig this up right now because it's just November, and this is clearly a very strong plant with how thick these stems are compared to, you know, these tiny little stems. There's a big difference between this and this. So these are most likely going to be amazing, large roots. There's another one over there, quite large. Like most of these, pretty much from here down the row, they're quite large. So anyways, I just wanted to give you an example of size. These are about as small as they'll be after 2 years with quasi-decent soil. You know, I can't really attest to how good quality the soil is because it's first year ordered from just a general landscaper. It's usually so-so at best. Anyways, that's them. Yeah, you know what? I'm kind of thinking on the spot as I make the video, and I want to give you an example of, you know, what a pithy core can be like. So I'll take this. It's one of the biggest tubers here. And again, when I break it, check that out. It's not actually a thick core. Oh yeah. No, that's amazing. That is so good. The texture is so good. The flavor is amazing. Like I have no complaints. This is Like, I'm never gonna grow carrots. This is the crop. This is the one. And what video would be complete without watching me actually dig up one of these things? So let's see. Oh, these things are just so hard to dig up because, as you can see, how many of the tubers there are, all spreading outward from the base. Like, it really anchors itself in there. It's so hard. That's the problem. It's not like a carrot where you can just twist and pull it. You really got to go in there into the soil. So, hey, if you're a no-dig gardener like myself, I'm sorry, but you just got to do it. There's no way around it with the Skirret. Now, of course, it's a little easier if you have two hands and you're not using it for the camera, but wow, this is insane. And quite honestly, like, I've dug up quite a few of these, and I've used both of my hands to do so. And it wasn't too much easier, really. Okay, I think I'm at a point now where I can sort of pull it up. Not with one hand, though. All right, I'm going to put this on my boot for a sec. All right, there we go. Now, you can see how much soil is actually attached to this thing. Because these tubers, they're just, like, so many of them on one plant. Whoa, yeah. Look at that. There's some large ones here. I'm probably gonna have to put the camera down, knock the soil off, and show you after. All right, one sec. All right, so as you can see here, there are quite a few. It's amazing. Look how large they are too. This one actually has mostly large ones. I don't see any tiny ones on here, except for in this tiny little cluster here. There's a few. Yeah, it's just amazing. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You know, they're in the carrot family. They taste very similar to carrots and parsnips, but they're just so much better to grow. I will never grow carrots again. Because another problem with carrots is germination. You know, it takes about 14 days to germinate on average, and if the soil dries out just once, you're hooped. Like, there's nothing you could do about that. The seeds are done, you got to start again, or your germination is going to be so spotty that it won't be worth it for that space. But when it comes to Skirret, although the germination is actually the same process, you can have problems, you got to take care of it. At least once you got it going, you've got it for life, because these are perennials. You know, if you get spotty germination the first year, you'll just, at the end of that season, take a lot of your best Skirret, you'll divide it into pieces and plant them out the next year, and every space in that patch will be full. So I'm thinking long-term versus short-term, and although the problems in the short term are the same for Skirret as they are carrot, long-term, there are no problems. Also, in my experience, I have a lot of issues with carrots and pests. They're delicious, they're tender, and there's a lot of creatures out there that like them. So when I dig up a carrot, there's no telling if it's going to be in prime condition or not. And with Skirret, there's something about it. I couldn't tell you, I'm not a biologist, but they have far fewer pests. And I don't find spotty, holdy tubers. Like, there's nothing in here. Every single tuber I've ever dug up with Skirret over the years has been like this. No problems, just a healthy crop. So yeah, carrots, never again. Skirret, all the time. All right, so what I just did was I took some of the largest tubers off of all four of these plants here. Not the one that I just harvested, but anyways, I'm gonna go cook them up. I'm gonna steam them, and I'll give you guys a review. And once again, thanks to Movie Magic, here are some cooked Skirret tubers. Look at that, the skin split, revealing that nice white flesh there. Oh, that's so good. Oh, wow. Carrots and parsnips, they're just nowhere near this tasty. Like, this is the APACA tuber champion. This is the one, Skirret. Seriously, try it out, taste it once, and I dare you to tell me that a carrot tastes better than this, or that a parsnip tastes better than this. This is the most amazing tuber that I have eaten in so long. Like it. Wow. Like, I want to say that this is candy. This is so good. It is so sweet. Like, really sweet. And the texture is, mind you, I think I guess when it splits like this, it's overcooked. Like, it could have been cooked a little less. Maybe it wouldn't have split. It's really soft. It's almost like you could mash this and have it as like a mashed potato substitute. And wow, that would be like too sweet almost. These things are so sweet that it would be desserty more than savory. Anyways, that last piece that I bit, no pith. Again, this piece, as you can see, I reach for the largest roots. The largest root. No pith. I stand corrected. Okay. So, that's what came out of this last one. I say, so what? The flavor is so amazing. The texture is unbeatable. Sometimes you have to make sacrifices in this life, and I prefer to spit out a tiny little pith to get this amazing flavor and texture. Like, I could have swallowed that, no problem. Wow. It's seriously candy, you guys. This is the best root that I've ever had, honestly. Like, I don't know any other root that tastes as good as this. Parsnips are not as sweet. The texture is like mashed potatoes. Its flavor is a little carroty. Now, once it's cooked, it loses a lot of that carrot flavor. Like, when they're raw, they almost taste exactly like carrots. But this is, it's just wow. That's how I describe it. Wow. This is amazing. Let's see another one. See how pithy it is. Fold it in half, get to the good stuff. Same sort of thing. There is the smallest, thinnest little pith in here. But it's chewable and definitely can be swallowed without any discomfort, or even, it doesn't even feel like a sacrifice. Really, like, it is so minute, I wouldn't even consider it a problem. Wow. It's like, I want to compare these to marshmallows, really. Like, that is kind of the next, they're closer to marshmallows than they are parsnips or carrots. That's how sweet and desserty they are. Wow. So anyways, that's them. You gotta try them. Seriously, best root that you'll ever taste. It is the easiest plant that you could possibly grow. It grows in abundance, so you need less space to grow a lot of it. And you don't have to start it from seed every year. I just have nothing but good things to say about this plant. It is one of my favorites, always will be. I highly recommend you try it. Okay, so that does it. That is Skirret. It is my favorite member of the Apiaceae family. If you're thinking about growing carrots, you're thinking about growing parsnips, just throw those thoughts out the window and plant some skirret seeds instead, because this is the superior member of that family. It's honestly the best tuber that I've ever had from any family. So give it a go. You will not be disappointed. And thanks a lot for hanging around as I ramble about this plant. So on a side note, I do sell the seeds for this. I sell them from my website, and the link can be found below. Until next time, I'm just gonna sign off and gobble up these plants. Take care. Bye.